What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Here with another fantastic interview, this time for Peg Leg Records, the one and the only. We are here with When I Say Jump. Again, before this interview starts, I want to apologize for microphone problems. The shitty Shure mic that was like a Christmas present is being annoying. So that's a later problem. I appreciate our special guest, sticking through and working with us. So thank you. And When I Say Jump, how's it going?
Good, good, good. Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So first question is always going to be, what type of music are we making here? How would you describe your music and put it into layman's terms, right? If I'm walking on the street and I hear about When I Say Jump, what am I thinking?
That's a great question. Yeah. I think if you went down the line, you'd probably get somewhat of a different answer from all of us. But I would say that, like, to your point on the layman thing, metalcore, post-hardcore, somewhere in that sphere, it's all kind of rooted in um, that background and that like sonic landscape. So I don't think we have anything that I would say couldn't be classified in one of those branches. But I don't know if that like fully encapsulates it either.
I like that. Anyone else have any different answers?
Yeah. I mean, in a genre too. Like I mean, when I describe us to other bands, bookers, etc., I usually say like post-hardcore, metalcore, somewhere kind of like in between there. Like if I had to like maybe try to pin us down to a band, I would say kind of like maybe Chiodos or something. Like there's breakdowns, there's like noodly riffs and stuff. Like yeah, probably maybe like something like that. Yeah.
I like that, and I love Chiodos. I don't know if there's a single person in the scene who doesn't love that kind of a classic band, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Now tell me about the music you guys have released so far. What are we looking towards in the future? Any more full big releases like an EP and LP?
Yeah. So we released before the fall our most recent release about 2 months ago.
Yeah, almost
now.
exactly, almost
Yeah,
exactly
almost
2 months
exactly
ago.
2 months ago. Um, and we are actually getting ready to go into the studio here in about 3 weeks,
Yeah.
right at the start of November, to start working on what will hopefully be our first full length. Test. So we are pushing towards that. I think we have somewhere in the sphere of like 11 to 12 songs that are all in some form of like, varying from near completion to like larval stage. But we're kind of grinding away at that and hopefully looking to have something more robust out early next year. But we'll definitely have like some of the stuff that we're going to start tracking in the next month out sooner than that as well.
That's really, really exciting. That's great to hear. What are some of the influences you think you'll be picking from on this latest full release?
That's so tough. At a certain point, it gets really like eclectic, and it's tough to really pin anything down. Some of these songs lean towards more progressive directions with changing time signatures, and you got some of them that are more like soft, and it really ranges, but um there's definitely a lot of like hardcore influences, there's some math rock influences. I mean, it gets pretty eclectic, but that I think that gives like a listener like more to kind of like hang on to, as the album goes and as things progress, because there's a reason to kind of listen to the next song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're pulling from I think a wider variety of influences than we have in the past. I think that we to Brad's point, we do have a song that's just all over the place with time signatures. We've got one that I would say is very like 2004 Trustkill Records kind of like ferret music, type metalcore with those like In flames, dual guitar harmony type riffs, and kind of like that drive behind it. We've got a song that originally began with an old like crust punk scram band that I was in that we've kind of morphed into something that matches our sound a little more. So yeah, it's definitely I think going to be something that I think people who have listened to us in the past are going to be caught off guard by. But we've started playing some of the material live, and people have been really receptive to it. I would say, if there's one like noticeable thing to pick out, I think it's substantially heavier than a lot of what we've done in the past as well. So yeah, it's really exciting. I think it's going to be a very transformative record for the band.
Great to hear. Great to hear. Now, I think, especially when I'm a songwriter, right? Whenever I'm writing songs, something that really influences me is what I've heard through past releases of some favorite bands. But especially this year's been an incredible year for anything heavy, for anything metal, post-hardcore specifically. I think we've had some incredible releases. What are some releases that have been on your mind that you've really enjoyed? And there's one I'm really hoping to hear. So I want to see if you guys get that. I'm not going to spoil it. I want to see.
Now I'm trying to think what I'm like. What
From
I'm
this
like,
year specifically, or are you looking?
Yeah, like recently.
Yeah.
did the Knock Loose record come
No,
out
that
this
was
year?
last year.
That's what I thought. I thought that was last year. I was
Banger
like,
record though.
that was fantastic. Yeah.
My favorite band of all time is Death Heaven. They released an album earlier this year that I think is fucking phenomenal. I just read. Are we allowed to swear on this?
Of course, yeah.
I love much less heavy, but I love AFI. They just released a new album that's like this like pure Susie and the Banshee, Sister of Mercy ripoff type record. Man, now I'm struggling to think what else has come out this year.
The Scowl record, but that's more.
That's
like
also last year.
Was it? It might have been.
Oh, maybe Scowl was.
I think it might have been like February or March.
Yeah, Scowl.
I'm not very good personally at keeping up with a lot of new records. I mean, like, yeah. Or like so the two of the main like heavy records I've been bumping recently, Messengers by August Burns Red, because why not? And then with Roots Above, Branches Below, Devil Wears Products. They're kind of like classic, like mid 2000s metalcore. I think that first one was like '04, and the next one was at maybe '08 or something. So like right in there. So I've been like that's what's been on my. I'm the drummer, so I've been really listening to a lot of those drums and stuff. So I know like there's just so much music. It's just so hard to keep up with stuff, and so I just find myself going back to these like records that really inspire me and stuff. But what about you, Skunk?
To be less heavy, Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party by Haley Williams.
Phenomenal record.
On repeat in my car all the time. It's my favorite of all time now.
All great picks. The Death Heaven record, like I forgot. It's kind of crazy to say I forgot about that, but yeah, that was easily one of the best releases this year. Now there's the one I was hoping us would say didn't come through, and I'm hoping maybe when I say it, you'll recognize it. Sure. Agriculture's new what's it called? The Spiritual Sound. Fantastic. Literally mind blowing in my opinion. Like every single time I play guitar now, I'm sort of thinking of like these black metal-y riffs, which I usually don't think about, which is impressive. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That record is really, really incredible. We are letting some of those influence. I'm a big black metal person. That is, and I'm the vocalist, so I don't write anything really. So my input on what happens musically is usually more on like the production side, and once we're actually in the studio, and most of the stuff's fully formed. But I know we're leaning in some directions that can pull from some of those spaces. I don't know if you've heard it, but Spectral released a record earlier this year. They're a black metal band from I think Vancouver, BC, somewhere up in the Great White North, and they're incredible. So if you haven't heard that, check it out. But that's probably been my favorite black metal release of the year.
I definitely will. Yeah, thank you. I've really, really been going on a black metal kick ever since I heard, Dreamhouse it's
Yeah.
kind of been downhill from there. And I think there is something really, really special about really emotional music in these heavier spaces when it can tend to be overused, maybe, even boring at some points. It's really great to hear interesting and new perspectives, on music. And I love that you guys are kind of channeling some of that in some of this new stuff, which I'm really excited to hear about. And as a parting gift to everyone watching, because I don't want to make this interview too long. So as a little perfect final question, when people listen to music, what do you want them to see? Now, I'm closing my eyes. I'm listening to When I Say Jump's new LP whenever it comes out. What do you want me to see?
What were we talking about with the colors?
Oh
Yeah.
Literally
Like a
last week.
slate,
Yeah.
Gray, blue,
Like a
dark
mossy.
forest
Yeah.
green, like
Yeah.
something like that.
I
It's a vibe.
so a lot of my writing comes from a place of trying to channel imagery, trying to channel like a picture I've seen or a painting or just some sort of visual that's in my mind, and trying to convey the emotion that I think is behind that or what it means to me. And I think so. We talked a little bit about just I like to view sound through like color spaces, and I don't necessarily think there's like a way that makes a lot of sense. I can't tell you like, oh, this sounds like this color, and everyone's like, yeah, of course that makes sense because I'm just kind of firing blind there. But in our last practice, we were talking about some of the changes that we want to experiment with when we're actually going for like sounds and production and like the soundscape that we're crafting and the actual like vibe of the music rather than what's being played. And one of the things that we talked about was conveying kind of like a foresty, like mossy, thick overgrowth kind of vibe. And I think that's all talking in kind of abstracts, but I think also just from like the standpoint of my writing, and please y'all chime in with your opinions on this because I could yap about this all day, but I think from like what I'm writing, when people close their eyes and they're listening to us, whether it's live or on record or whatever, I just want them to feel more than I want them to see. I want that what I'm doing to have that impact to you that I think everyone's had at some point at a show where you just feel almost crushed by the music you're listening to. The weight of the sound around you is so transformative and transcendent that you can just close your eyes and you feel what you're listening to more than you hear it. And I think that's what I want people to get from what we're doing is I want it to resonate with people on a level that like rattles their bones.
Perfect answer. You passed the test. So again, I want to thank everyone so much, for coming out, for helping me with the stupid audio problems. If you guys ever want to play Atlanta, you know who to ask, you know who to hit up, and we'll get you right.
Hey, we'll be doing for sure.
Please do. Please do. We'll get it. We'll get it good. So again, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night, and I'll have this posted soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Peace out.